What is up, guys? Welcome back to It Was Written TV. I don't even know what this is. This is like a movie cast thing we're about to review Batman versus Superman that we watched last week. The supposedly first day it's supposed to be released, but they released those shits on Thursday. We saw it on Friday. So yeah, what do you think about the movie, like overall?
Don't worry, guys. First of all, just fuck what the critics say. It's a flawed movie, yeah, but it's a good movie. All criticisms aside, it's a decent movie. You're gonna get what you pay for. You're gonna get Batman fucking fighting Superman, and plus more as well at that too. There are some miscastings there, especially with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
he was kind of miscasted in my opinion, but he did a decent job. There were just some moments where I was just like, get this nigga out of here.
Yeah, I think oh, man. He was a good actor. All right. He did a good job to what their idea of Lex Luthor was supposed to be.
Lex Luthor Jr.
Yeah.
Because after they said that he was Lex Luthor, everyone freaked the fuck out. And then they're like, no, he's Lex Luthor Jr. Calm your tits, guys.
Yeah.
And the scene that I just like lost it is when he shoved the Jolly Rancher up that guy's mouth.
Yeah, that shit
I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of spoilers. Like, all right, we're gonna talk about first before we talk about the spoilers. I think we should talk about what we thought about the overall movie without too much spoilers, and then go into spoilers.
Yeah, overall, it's a good movie. It's flawed. It's not an amazing movie, but I felt the same way with Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. That's the main thing about both of those movies. They try too much to set up for the next movie rather than focusing on the integral plot that they have going on in the movie.
Yeah.
Like with Avengers, you have that subplot with Thor going into that pit and is setting up for the third Thor movie. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is this shit? And they were too busy setting up Civil War when Captain was like fucking like cutting the logs, and then he just like, got mad at Tony and shit like that. They're just too busy setting it up rather than focusing on
actual plot for the movie,
developing Ultron and all this other shit. Same with this movie. I'm not gonna get spoilers now, but they just spend too much time setting up the next movie, which is gonna be Justice League, and they just cram too much stuff in there. And the editing was kind of choppy because they cut too much from the film.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where Superman saves the day. Lois is somewhere, and they take Lois, and instead of a transition, the screen just turns pitch black, and then just goes to the next scene instead of like some kind of transition in there. Something was cut out from the movie, obviously.
Yeah,
and it just felt like jumpy from the start.
Oh yeah, it was. If it didn't feel like
it wasn't well put together.
Yeah, the timeline was not really stable. It was just like a lot of jumping around.
Yeah. The screen would just turn pitch black. There's like no transitions. Star Wars transitions were fucking badass. Like The Force Awakens, I was like freaking. I don't know. I thought it was a cool transition. I guess when they were on Jakku, and then like there's a smoke swirling, this fucking transition just like swirled up and then just went to the next scene. Yeah. I was like, yo, that was cool as fuck. But other than that, it's flawed movie, like every other movie. It's not an amazing movie, but it's not a bad movie either. It's pretty good.
It's watchable. It's watchable.
It's watchable. It's good. The action scenes are kick ass. Zack Snyder knows how to make a movie look good.
Yeah.
It's visually stimulating. You can't take your eyes off the movie itself. And there's a lot of homage to The Dark Knight Returns and other comic books and shit like that with still images and stuff. It's just they cram too much shit in the film. They trying to set up the other movie, and there's some questionable scenes involving Jesse Eisenberg and who else? Oh, Gal Gadot did fucking great as Wonder Woman too. She fucking killed that shit. Even though she wasn't that developed or anything like that. But other than that, Henry Cavill, he's good as Superman. People are mad from Man of Steel that he destroyed shit. I'm like, it's his fucking first time legitimately being Superman. Cut him some slack.
Yeah.
And Avengers, they fucking destroyed everything in New York, and then they fucking went out to eat after the end, and everyone was clapping and shit. And it's just like, they destroyed New York City. They destroyed everything. Like, yeah, don't say shit about that, but everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon of hating DC, and bashing it because they're Marvel fanboys. I'm a fan of both of the movies. It's a good time to be a fucking comic book fan now, and then people are still going to be divided, and it's fucking stupid. They just need to shut the hell up and just enjoy that we're actually getting this opportunity to watch these characters on the fucking big screen, interact with each other and shit.
And that they're all mainstream now, and like that they're getting more like the attention that most comic book nerds or whatever you want to call them like wanted from a long time ago. Like they wanted to see this happen, and we're in the time where this is actually happening. What I thought about the movie, again, the same thing you were talking about. Like I feel like the thing that made it really bad, or like, you know, bad in the sense is that they crammed a lot, and they clearly had more to show. You know, they just had to cut a lot of it out to make it 2.5 hours. Because if it wasn't, it would have been like 6 hours. And it just felt jumpy. It felt like they didn't have like a consistent timeline. And like they just forced it out just to make the Justice League movie happen. And they put a lot. They put in that trailer that we saw a while back.
Yeah.
Everything in that trailer was basically
the whole movie.
The whole movie. It was condensed, and I think the surprise of having Doomsday there should have been kept a secret. Like that character sucked at all. Like the whole idea of how he was made, it's stupid.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. It was stupid how he was created.
Yeah, and I think like they just forced him out to have somebody like really powerful to fight for, like, what was it?
Just to have the Trinity there, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, just to have someone powerful enough to fight them pre Justice League fight scene, pretty much.
Yeah, for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long fight.
Yeah, it was a long fight. But
the only disappointment was the runtime of Batman versus Superman fight.
Yeah,
it was short. Like what you see in trailers is pretty much what you see in the movie itself,
of course,
except for a few scenes. I thought the fight was going to be longer, but it was emotional at the end. How Batman stopped. We'll get into that later. And I mean, they did his origin story fine. Oh, speaking of Batman, Ben Affleck fucking killed it.
Yeah,
he's
probably the best Batman.
He's the best Batman on screen because they made a compelling Batman, and for once they made a compelling Bruce Wayne. As well too. Bruce Wayne was like, you actually enjoyed watching Bruce Wayne rather than it being a drag like the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins was a good start, but then again, like in Dark Knight Rises, you didn't give a fuck about Bruce Wayne. You wanted to see Batman. He wasn't that compelling of a character, but they made Bruce Wayne right, and you saw his emotions. He was damaged and shit too. People are complaining about everything aside, he fucking kills people in this movie, Batman. And
they don't say it, but it looked like he killed a couple people.
He killed at least 15 people in the movie. But
and that one scene was amazing. I think probably.
Oh yeah, that was the best fight. That was the best scene in the whole movie.
I think it was better even than the Superman and Batman fight.
Oh yeah, hands down, that was the best scene. But yeah, you see his descent into madness because there's like little Easter eggs of death in the family. With you guys already seen it in the freaking trailers. Robin's costume
was like written on and that by the Joker.
Yeah, they were alluding to the Joker. He was talking to.
They were alluding. They forced. That's the thing about it. It wasn't even. To me, it wasn't even placed. A lot of the supposedly Easter eggs, they were just kind of like thrown in there just so.
Some of them, yeah. Like the Joker was good. That was a good Easter egg. He just looked at the costume for a good 15 seconds, and then he just went on to being Batman or whatever. To me, that's motivation for him for him being brutal. Now,
yeah. To me, I don't know. It didn't feel natural. He's just like he was walking through the Bat cave or whatever, and like he just sees the suit, and like we already knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, because we already saw in the trailer. That's the first thing I saw in the trailer. I had to like rewind it. I'm like, yep, Robin's dead.
Yeah,
he's fucking dead as fuck. But then his motivation of fighting Superman
was stupid, and how
it was dumb because and
how they resolved it too.
Yeah, I think we should just get into spoilers. Overall, great film. Ben Affleck killed it. He's probably the best Batman on screen on the movie. Everyone did their job. I felt Lois Lane was she tried to be a strong character, but she wound up eventually being the damsel in distress, and she got annoying because they tried to make her irrelevant. Like they always try to no matter what scene it is, they always try to make her relevant in every fucking scene. It's not Lois and Superman. It's Superman versus Batman. Stop trying to make her fucking relevant in the movie.
It's kind of like the Sakura syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's let her be the love interest. Let her be the support that Superman needs to have a conversation, like the bathtub scene or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And
which was fucking dumb as shit.
Yeah.
It was cringeworthy a little bit. Like, nah, stop it.
yeah, it was something for like the girls and shit, pretty much, because all the girls were like, "Oh, it's so cute. He's so hot." Blah blah blah.
Nah.
It's something for everyone in the movie, but like they just overuse her too fucking much, and they try to make her so important when she's really not. And that's just the main criticism. So they overuse Lois Lane. They cram too much. The editing was choppy because he cut out so much content, and the Blu-ray apparently is going to be like over 3 hours full of content, and it's going to be rated R because the violence of Batman and shit like that.
And I feel that's why I think the whole movie didn't feel consistent, because like there was so much movie that they cut off, and it feels like a lot was missing.
Yeah. Getting to spoilers now. After the weekend was over, they released a fucking deleted scene on YouTube of what Lex saw when he was in the fucking ship after he created Doomsday. Because you don't see him get arrested in the movie. You don't see him, Doomsday tries to punch him, then Superman saves Lex, and then they go into this big ass fight. And this the scene was, you see Lex in that water, and then you see like the FBI or SWAT, some people in uniforms, like all decked the fuck out in gear. Their guns aiming, at Lex. They're like, "Stop, we're gonna take you in." And then you see him having this hallucination of there's 3 cubes that you saw. One of the cubes from how Cyborg got created or whatever. Yeah. Those are called mother cubes. They give you all this power. You can bend space, time, reality, and you have this technology and shit like that. And you see Darkseid's general called Steppenwolf, I believe. And then he's just like there, and then like he's holding like 3 cubes, and then like he disintegrates, and then that's how the scene ends. And then that's why like at the end of the movie, Lex was like all fucking crazy and shit. They didn't explain how he got crazy or none of that shit. So
like what he was talking about,
yeah, he was just looting. He's coming. They know their god is dead. He's fucking coming. If they would have shown that scene, if they would have put that scene in the movie,
it would have made more sense.
Yeah, it would have made more sense. And everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" He's just
everybody. It was kind of like you just thought in context clues what he was seeing in the ship, supposedly. When he like activated, that he had visions and
Well, no one knew he had visions. Like the only thing that caught my attention, because I was trying to pay attention to all the Easter eggs as much as I can, because I want to see it again, see what else I missed. And the computer was like, "Oh, we have access to thousands of years worth of like knowledge and and history of the universe." And Lex was like, "Okay, tell me." But no one we talked about it after we went out to eat, and they're like, "What? They said that?" I was like, "Yeah, the computer said that," and no one didn't really catch that. So, and that justified his ending scene in the prison cell with Batman, like his descent into madness and shit, with a little booger coming out and everything. That made that shit so much justified.
It made more sense, a lot more sense.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, got arrested and he's crazy.
Yeah. One thing that I really want to talk about that really pissed me off was the thing that Andrew told me about. And I was, when I saw that scene, it kind of pissed me off. The bat scene where he just starts levitating with bats. Yeah. That shit was...
it was kind of cringy, but I was like, oh, this has to be a dream or like a symbolism or something. Because when he rose up with his arms like this, it created the bat symbol. And I mean... He's a visual director, so he tries to put a lot of symbolism in his movies and shit like that.
I just call that bullshit.
Like he has hit or miss movies.
Yeah,
like 300 was great. The second 300 was okay. I liked it. It wasn't like as quotable as like or classic as the first one. But Watchmen was fucking fantastic,
of course.
And I haven't seen Sucker Punch, but I heard it sucked.
Sucker Punch? Yeah. No, I don't.
This shit looked like an anime come to life, and it looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies you watch on like Netflix and the house and enjoy it and just chill.
The cameos of the Justice League, that was another thing that was crammed up in the movie.
Yeah, that was
forced. It was just stupid. Like instead of like them like making them relevant into the plot, here's Wonder Woman with a flash drive and it makes no sense because like, why did we're not stupid. The audience is not stupid. They made like this like their emblems on each file. It was like who
really,
the fuck does that? Like Lex Corporal. Oh, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put lightning on this guy. We don't know he's the Flash, but we're gonna put the lightning bolt. And then the audience, okay, that's the Flash.
We'll put a big C on
put
Cyborg.
A big W on Wonder Woman.
No, it wasn't a big. It was the Wonder Woman's W. It was like
big W on Wonder Woman. Now it's just like,
and they put
we know it's her.
They put a big C on Cyborg.
Yeah, and big C in Cyborg and a big like crest for Aquaman.
Yeah,
big A, and
and I think they like.
It was just so blatant in front of your face instead of them like making it relevant.
When when Bruce Wayne was like on the computer and he unlocks the code and he sees all this, he's like,
yeah, like so people had the time to make emblems for each file and put them on and shit like that.
So people can't say you don't know that this was supposed to be.
Yeah, like it would have been better if they were more subliminal about it, and then you just see a kid just fucking stop a robbery. He's fast. Put two together. Duh, that's a fucking Flash. Or, you know, all they had to do was show fucking Victor Stone's transformation into Cyborg.
Yeah.
And then you just see Aquaman underwater, which is funny. He was the funniest one. He just his eyes were glowing. And I was like, what the fuck? Why his eyes are glowing? And
he was just looking at the camera and then he just like, that one was the worst one. He looked funny. You know who he looked? I don't know if it's the same actor, but you know who he looked like to me?
What?
The guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Which one?
What is his name? Mac.
Yeah, he does a little bit. He's from Game of Thrones. Jason Momoa.
He looked to me when I looked at him. I was like, "That's Mac from It Was Always Sunny in Philadelphia."
He looks good as Aquaman. It's just his scene was just like funny.
His scene was funny.
He looked like he was struggling in the water, and then he just uses trident to like break the sound barrier online. But he had an Easter egg in the fucking first movie. They should have made that shit relevant. Like after Superman saves the people from the oil rig, he's in the water, and then all of a sudden you see two whales come underneath, and then you assume like the whales saved him.
Yeah,
and then like that was subliminal. Be like, okay, that's fucking Aquaman. Like Aquaman probably destroyed that fucking oil rig. Because it's like polluting the ocean and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they should have like alluded back to that. He should have had a flashback of
something.
Aquaman calling the whales to saving Superman because he knows that.
That would have been an extreme tie, and like you see him in the water and he like calls like
because he knows that Superman is worthy.
Yeah.
You know he saved people and shit like that, and Aquaman has that that conflicted shit with not trusting humans because they're called land dwellers and surface dwellers or something like that, and they always
destroy stuff.
Yeah, and they harm the ocean, and Superman's that hope for both of them and shit like that. Yeah. And he eventually does that. They should have done that. And then I don't understand why Wonder Woman was going to ATM. She's over 100-something years old. Why the fuck is she going to ATM? And
that was kind of that's another thing.
Yeah, that picture was fine back in World War I or 1930, whatever picture was from.
There was no need for the ATM scene.
Yeah, they're like, it was stupid. The Flash was cool, and then he had two cameos in the movie. No one assumed it was the Flash after Batman had a fucking Inception, the dream, and then the other dream, it was a real thing. He woke up and then the guy was in the wall.
He was like going through a portal.
Yeah, that was the Flash. And he was just trying to prevent, what the fuck is going to happen in the future.
What he was like dreaming about, which was fucking crazy.
Because the fucking dream Bruce had was post-apocalypse of Earth. You saw the fucking Omega symbol on the ground, which is Darkseid's symbol.
Yeah.
And then the parademons, they serve Darkseid, which is the little flying little aliens around and shit like that. And they changed it up, I guess. I guess Darkseid manipulated Superman, and they're kind of going for an injustice vibe.
Yeah. I think that's what I got.
Yeah.
You press the seat button.
My bad.
Yeah, and and all those like military people who have the Superman emblem on them, which I guess are following. Like I'm guessing when shit just came down, like they chose to follow Superman, and Superman is like evil or whatever, gone crazy. So that's cool. I thought that was cool, but that was like the way they transitioned to that. That shit was like made no sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
No
one got it in it. Like if you're not a comic book fan, you wouldn't have gotten those things, which is understandable because they're gonna ask like their friends who are comic book, like, yo, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
what the fuck is that?
Happened?
And then you're gonna get that satisfaction like of you being told and stuff like that. That was fine, but it's just like the shit in your face. Here's Aquaman. Here's Flash. Here's Cyborg. Here's Wonder Woman, and that's just so in your face, bro. Like I don't know. They should have said the name, like the names of the people. There's like, oh, there's this kid named Barry Allen. He's
Mary Allen. Like they should have.
They should have dropped names, or like just leave that first Flash cameo was good.
Yeah.
Instead of the second one of him stopping the robbery. I don't know. They should have just Aquaman with the flashback or whatever. Cyborg. They should have just showed that footage was fine. That was because his father intended to record it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's like day one of my son. I don't know if he's gonna survive. That was perfect. Wonder Woman, is just her going to ATM.
And also the picture.
The picture was fine.
Yeah, the picture was fine. Like I've seen this woman before.
Yeah, and it's just with the Flash and Aquaman, they could have done way better or made them relevant to the plot or something like that.
I want to talk about the fighting scene. Well, the Batman versus Superman fighting scene was pretty. I liked it. It was intense.
It was satisfying. I just wish it was a bit longer.
It was.
I wish we would have seen it IMAX so I can hear like the sound effects of the impacts with each other and shit. But it was good. It's not as fast paced as you guys think, since Batman has that fucking mech suit, so he's like hitting slow as fuck and beating the shit out of Superman. But it's my main criticism with that fight scene was Superman should have been like, look, they have my mom. I have an hour. Stop fighting. He has my mom. He's gonna kill her.
Yeah.
He has so many opportunities to tell him, but he just proceeded to fight. He should have made it like a better motivation for them fighting each other, because Lex was like, go kill Batman and then your mom will be straight.
Yeah.
And instead of like, look, I see your bat signal. He has my mom. We need to go save her. The whole fight could have been avoided by a conversation.
I think the whole resolution to that fight was kind of dumb, because like it's not even how they resolved it, it's just how quick it happened.
I kind of like it because Batman's so fucked up and damaged during his past 20 years of being Batman, and I never fucking realized that his mom is named Martha, and so Superman's name's Martha. I never fucking knew that, and I was like, is it like that in the comics? I googled it, and sure enough, I was like, what the fuck? It's for real. Like I don't know. Like I'm a big fan.
He did his homework on that one.
I was like, what the fuck? They both got the same name, so it's smart. But it's just like the motivation of fighting each other, and then like with Clark during the movie, his gripe with Batman
is dumb.
Is like he has no reason. He's fucking fighting. He's saving the city. Like what's your main criticism with Batman? He's violent. He brands fucking like slave traders and shit, bro.
Yeah,
it's
like
let him do his thing. They should have. This would have been better. Like he's killing people. Batman's killing people. And Superman's like, look, I understand what you're doing. You need to stop killing these people. Yeah,
because he's supposed to be like the voice of reason, like the righteous, like
But he doesn't bring that up. He's like, you need to stop.
You need to stop. You're evil. Everything you do is evil. And I'm like,
next time I see your back signal, consider this a warning. And then like he just flies away.
Man, what an asshole.
Yeah,
that dude broke his car.
He was right in the middle of fucking stopping like the fucking same bad people that they're both pursuing.
Yeah.
And then he stops him right in the middle of the fucking chase. He's like, you don't do that. And then he just flies away.
And
they fucking get away. And I was just like, what the fuck? That's your main gripe? Why is Clark so obsessed with Batman? He's not. He's saving the fucking day. It's Batman should have did something terrible to Clark or Superman or whatever.
There was no reason for them to like hate each other like to the point like that.
Clark's gripe with Batman was stupid. If he would have brought up, look, you're killing people, you need to stop.
Yeah, it's not the right way.
It's not the right way. Like, I understand what you're doing, but you can't kill people. Because he learned his lesson from the first movie. He fucking destroyed the city with Zod, unintentionally, and he didn't want to kill Zod. He had to snap his neck. It was either him or the family that he was about to fucking incinerate with his fucking heat vision shit like that. So he has that moral dilemma, and
which they didn't bring up. Like, they kind of like alluded to why that Batman had like the right motivation. I feel.
Yeah, that's what made it compelling. He's like, look, he has the power to fucking kill all of us. Like, we need to fucking stop him. And that was good.
Because he was in that wreckage of the first movie.
Yeah.
Or
it felt like 9/11, bro. It was like I was like at the edge of my seat at the whole scene of him like
I didn't understand.
Saving the little girl. And
I didn't understand the horse that like came out of like nowhere.
It was probably the police in the city.
The police. That's what I thought. But I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, you got a 9/11 vibe, and that shit was like terrifying. It's like so surreal and shit like that. So that was a good suspenseful scene. I was just like, that's the first half of the movie was good. Like, the thing is, they had so many subplots with Superman with a bullet in her notebook and shit like that. But I just felt like that wasn't unneeded.
That was probably, to me, that was supposed to be cut out for me. I didn't really care.
It was just too much subplots going on. I was invested in the politics in it with them hating Superman. Like, they love him. They treat him like a god. How he saved that girl from Mexico. They're like fucking, they're like touching him and shit like that. And he's just like,
God.
He's like, I'm a god to these people. I have to do what's right and shit like that. And I like, it was like, it started off as a political thriller, which was good. And I was interested in that until they started bringing up the bullet and the courthouse scene that exploded. That was great. I was invested in that shit.
Yeah, Grandma's peach.
Yeah, Grandma's peach tea. I was like, yo, she's drinking piss. I was like, that shit was suspenseful. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the fuck is she looking at? And then like she looks at the fucking thing and it says Grandma's peach tea. I'm like, yo, she's drinking piss. I thought she's like,
but that's the only, I didn't expect the explosion.
Yeah, and then the fucking high tech wheelchair just fucking blew up, and I was like, okay, that's why he gave him that wheelchair, because that shit was like filled with explosives or whatever. He probably didn't even know. He was just like,
he didn't know.
Yeah, because he looked shocked or whatever. But that was fine. It just, the motivations of Superman hating Batman was just dumb.
Yeah,
they should have worked on that more. The cameos and Easter eggs, it could have been a little bit better instead of in your face trying to, even like the casual moviegoer, oh, that's the Flash. Wow. Oh, that's Wonder Woman. Wow. Aquaman. Holy shit. Aquaman. And I'm just like, come on, man. Should have made their roles pivotal to the plot.
So I do think the best fight was the one that made it look like I was playing the Dark Knight. The
Arkham games?
Yeah, the Arkham games.
When he saved his mom was just purely badass.
Everything about that. Like, it did feel like they got inspiration from the Arkham Knight or Arkham games, and you felt badass. Batman was a badass, how he was supposed to be. Like,
that's how he's supposed to fight in the movies. Because with Christian Bale's Batman,
it was all stiff.
It's stiff, but it looked like he was just disarming people. So he was just like, he wasn't necessarily punching them in the face. He was just like they're all armed. Doom, doom, doom. And then just like taking their guns away and then just hitting them with elbows and shit. He didn't use his full body to his full potential and anything like that.
Fucking, this Batman just took out, like, how many people were there? Like 15, 20?
Too many. He was fucking terrifying in the movie. Like, when you see him for the first time, like hanging on the ceiling like this and then just crawling through the ceiling, just like cops just shooting at him. That shit was terrifying.
Yeah, like how they did right with Batman, with the whole essence of, like, we know what Batman is. He's just he's a regular person trying to do something. But for people in the universe, they think he's a monster. Demon. Yeah, like a demon spawn. And that whole scene in the beginning where he was like crawling on the walls and stuff. Yeah, that made it seem like he was a fucking monster. Yeah, and they did Batman right.
Alfred was good too.
Yeah, Alfred was good too.
It's hard because the Alfred from The Dark Knight and then Jeremy Irons Alfred, now they're both fucking great. Yeah. There's never been a bad Alfred whatsoever. They always treat him with respect and all his other shit.
Because they always use him as the same role, so he's like, they don't change him that much. Yeah. And that's a good thing, because
Yeah, and who else? Yeah, Ben Affleck. You know, he's a director. You know, he directed The Town and Argo, which are fucking great
Great
fucking
movies.
movies. Um, and of course he's gonna put his input. And plus he's a big Batman fan, so thanks to him putting his own input, he's like, no, like he had differences between him and Zack Snyder. He's like, no, Bruce Batman would never do this. Here's my input. We should do this idea. We should do that idea. And there's an interview of him talking about it and shit like that, where he forced them to change the script for the better, and it worked out in his favor because he turns out to be the best Batman and shit like that. And then now he wrote a script for the solo Batman movie, which is going to be dope. And they say he has great ideas on what he wants to do.
Yeah, I feel maybe that's why Batman was so, I feel like the most developed character in that movie, because I felt like he was taken care of more.
Yeah, they didn't take his origin. Everyone knows his origin. That was just the intro of the movie. First 5 minutes, the imagery was dope. Like when the gun, like the thing with Zack Snyder, he has his hit or misses, but when he actually does like a good shot or a good scene, it's effective. Like when the gun is like on the pearls and then like the recoil comes and snaps the pearls and just falls on the ground. That shit was awesome as fuck. That was like some dope ass cinematography there and shit like that. So he does visual shit so well and stuff like that. I can't see nobody. I mean, I can see nobody else doing that kind of movie. It's just like the writers fucked up and he just tried to
Condense.
He's basically just trying to catch up to Marvel, pretty much. They saw how Marvel's doing so successful, and this is how Marvel's a bit better, movie wise, because every character had their own solo movies for them to be developed and shit like that. And then once they get to the Avengers, you're already invested to these characters already. You already know them. You already know their struggles and conflicts. So by the time they team up for the movie, you're already invested. You already like these characters and all this other stuff. And he's trying to get up to Avengers type level by just doing 2 movies already. And it's not that effective.
Yeah, the problem is like they're trying to rush it while Marvel had so many years, a lot of years already to develop all these characters and make all these solo movies and then collaboration movies. They already have, like, they've been doing it for a long time, and DC, they're trying to rush it.
They're trying to catch up.
And I don't think it's the directors or none of the people's fault. I think it's the people in the, upstairs, the people who make the decisions.
Yeah,
like, we got to
it's
get
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. We got to make this money. And
they made money.
Yeah, of course.
They broke records.
Yeah, of course.
Worldwide and shit.
Yeah, but they just like, we got to catch up. We got to get this going, and they don't care how it goes. Like, they know they're gonna make money. They don't care how it happens.
Yeah, now they're looking at bad reviews. That's why they released that deleted scene this week to justify, like, yeah, it's a flawed movie, but look, we have so much shit that was cut out that we have to show you guys. Like,
yeah, of course,
it's always the the people in the inside just pulling the strings and shit like that. And my main thing, they crammed too much, but the whole ending sequence of Superman dying, that could have been a whole movie on its own. That should have been Man of Steel 3 or some shit. The whole him dying, the death of Superman and all this other shit, man, it was sad at the end. But we know he's going to come back. There's no Justice League without Superman.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It was just dumb bringing Doomsday in so fucking early, so quick. And he's just a mutated Zod. It's not like he's an experiment for a sole purpose just to kill Superman and shit like that. And they just did too much. Him dying off, that could have been a whole nother movie. They should have split it into 2 parts or something. And just him dying, and then fucking you see the dirt raised off from his casket. It's obvious he's gonna be alive or whatever. That whole storyline, Doomsday kills him, they kill each other, and they should have split that. Like, if they were to do that, they should have split that movie in 2 halves. Like they do with Harry Potter and Twilight and all this other bullshit.
Which I think that would be, for me, it would have been the best thing. They would have had more room for to put a lot in this movie, 2 hours of something, and then next movie would be 2 hours and 3 hours of something.
Batman
better.
versus Superman here, and then the second part, you see the Dawn of Justice part in that title. It should have been like that. even with even with Man of Steel 3, they should have, like, if they would do it, they're probably gonna do Brainiac or something now because Doomsday's out of the fucking question. Because that storyline is so much of a classic that they can't do it anymore. They already did it in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Superman dies.
Unless they bring
both
him
of them
back.
kill each other.
Unless they bring him back. The real Doomsday.
Yeah. But killing him off, we already say they're not going to kill him off again. Yeah. So that's already wasted. Because
Brainiac's the only logical choice now.
Yeah, because Darkseid's just going to be for the Justice League, not Superman. So
Brainiac.
But yeah, the storyline's so good, man, because like you should have split up 2 parts. Batman has, fights Doomsday. He dies at the end. And the second part, Lex feels guilty. So he makes a clone of Superman. And the clone is
Bizarro.
It's not Bizarro. It's just a regular clone.
Oh.
He looks extremely identical. But Superman never really died. He's like just slowly healing. It takes like a year for him to heal and shit like that. And so he has like long hair. He has like a black jumpsuit with the S symbol on it because he goes back to the fucking Fortress of Solitude or whatever. And he has like a kryptonite gun because he can fly, but he doesn't have his super strength yet. So they have that conflict when he confronts the clone because the clone gets violent and tries to kill Luthor for like creating him and all this other shit. And the real Superman, which the public doesn't see him as the real Superman, he has long hair. He's like, yo, Superman's using gun. What the fuck is going on? That's not Superman. That's Superman. And then they fight each other and all this other shit to prove who's
the real Superman.
That's more compelling than what they fucking did with the movie here.
Well, I think we'll wrap that shit up. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Oh yeah, I forgot to say it. I'm JP. This is my bro Aaron. We like to talk. My homeboy right here is a movie buff, and he loves to talk about movies. So you could expect more videos like this in the near future, especially with all these movies, especially with the Justice League, everything that's coming out.
We have Civil War and X-Men next.
Of course.
So be prepared for that.
So yeah, thank you for watching and peace out.